Hi, I'm BoredGamer. My voice is going. Pardon me. Hello, hope you're doing well, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me. We're going to chill out and chat a little bit about just sort of general Star Citizen news. And then we'll go through some questions, talk about Salvage stuff, because we've got some Salvage updates from Cloud Imperium. And thank you very much, Summer Yeti, for joining me, because you're a beautiful, beautiful moddy boy. Oh, you're such a good boy. You just, yeah, he's just always here. He's the best. Thanks so much. Genuinely appreciated. And I'd like to thank JP for, he sent me a big donation the other day and didn't want anything for it. He just was being nice and amazing, and I love him. JP, you are genuinely a legend. You do not need to give me money for any form of friendship from me. But, I mean, it buys you karma. You could probably, like, slap me about a bit when you see me, because the amount of money you give me, and I'll probably be like, you know what? You know what? You weren't that. Please negotiate consent from my face first. But thank you, genuinely, for anyone watching and giving me sort of feedback on videos, interacting with the comments. I look through a load of the comments. I don't reply to all of them. That would be mental. I do look and read a huge portion of them because it gives me ideas for content. It gives me a sort of an understanding of people on the channel, and a good part of my content, especially when I stream, is just interacting with the community. And I think it's super important. I think that's what the Star Citizen community was sort of founded on in general, was Clan Imperium's interaction with the community, at least originally, has gone a bit more corporate than it used to be. But there's pluses and downsizes, sides of that. Downsizes? What am I talking about? I'm pretty tired today. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be streaming for. I've got really bad back. Top of my back is just annihilated at the moment. So it feels like it's been bruised all over. I've sort of been exercising quite a lot recently, and I've probably got bad posture anyway. So I'm just going to hopefully resting it will get it better. I might start taking copious amounts of painkillers to help with it. But if you'd like to ask a question during the live stream, question in brackets, bam, ask what you want. There's some things happening at the moment. Oh, let's have a look. We've got Pirate Week started. Pew, 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 pew. Pirate ships. So what's going on? If you do Vandal Swarm, not Vandal Swarm, what am I talking about? Pirate Swarm. You complete that, you get access to be able to purchase the Gladius and Caterpillar Pirate Edition. If you are so, if you want it, have a look. There's also, at the moment, just the ability to purchase some chrome and red sort of piratish solar wind skins and the skull and crossbones cutlass. All those ships that are affected are on sale as well. So the Vanguard series, the Avenger series, and the standard Gladius are all on sale, and you can apply those skins too. What else is there? Screenshot contest, cool. And then we've got the Siege of Orison and Ninetales Lockdown, which is running throughout the weekend and into early next week. Get involved with that because the Siege of Orison has had some updates. So a variety of updates have been made to the Siege of Orison, basically making it better by bug fixing and balancing and tweaking some bits. So it is very much worth checking it out because along with the other improvements they made to 3.17.2 in the hotfix, you should be able to more readily access it. Elevators shouldn't hate you, and the Siege of Orison should go a lot more smoothly. So, it should be good luck. Get involved. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about? So we know the Drake Corsair is now planned for 3.18. That's pretty cool, right? I did not think it was going to be. I thought it was going to be Q1 next year at the earliest. But it shows what I know. Drake Corsair, planned for 3.18. 3.18 live is planned for the first half of November as well. Though I would say that is relatively blue skies thinking based on what's going to happen with the EVA Cardi tests. EVA Cardi tests will be starting later in September. And that's going to be a big one because it's focusing on PES as far as I'm aware. Yeah, this is an entity streaming. Super important for 3.18, for server meshing, for Star Citizen 2B and MMO. So that's the main things from that. Boop. Obviously, here you can see some of the grey cat buggy racing in the background. Let's get rid of that. Gen 12 stuff is coming through 0.18 as well. A lot more Gen 12 stuff than I originally had thought. So I think it might be sort of like their tier 0 implementation of it. For 3.18, that's what it's looking like. And other than that, the main thing I wanted to talk about today is Salvage. And we'll come to that at something. I just want to have a quick look. The Corsair is planned for some point in the 3.18 branch. Do the Mitch. So that's all we know. That's currently planned. It's not confirmed for 3.18 yet, but it is planned for it. They want it to be there. And we don't know if that's going to be with the initial launch or if it's just going to be later on. But I would expect the Corsair is going to be a big feature of the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, and it's almost certain that Guardian Film would like to get it in the initial release, and that's probably what's expected. Toilet flushing is overdue. Yes, toilet flushing, probably something silly that they want to put in, and general water in the bathrooms and washrooms. I don't need anything beyond general hygiene gameplay. It's if I go into the bathroom and I wash or whatever, spend some time in the shower room, that's good enough for me to say my hygiene is better, so people talk to me. It doesn't need to be me use toilet poo-poo. It's not... I don't need it to be like Ark. Do you know if we'll be able to graffiti other ships with the salvage tool? Yes. So you'll be able to strip the hull with it. So you'll be able to remove parts of the hull to make, a naughty sausage with naughty meatballs. But I'm hoping in the future, because of what they've done with that damage tech, they're going to go, you know what? We can make spray paint with this. We can actually start having people tag stuff. So I hope that's coming really soon as well. That's the sort of thing I go, well, this is easier than damage state tech. They can just go, this is like a decal on top. Or whatever, however they do it. So I'm hoping to see some stuff like that. Yeah, so mirrors in games are complex to have proper mirrors. Because if you're actually reflecting what's happening behind you, you need to create copies of things, which are hard to do. So lots of times in games, they sort of do fake things where they've got like a fake reflection of most of the background, but maybe reflect just the character model or copy the character model. Render to texture might make it easier for them to do it, but they're still quite resource intensive. How do other games handle salvage? Well, that's a big question based on the game. Sometimes it's just random pickups that you can then craft things after shooting stuff. I mean, Star Citizen has multiple types of salvage planned. So in 3.18, the next major patch, we're getting hull stripping salvage, both by hand and by a couple of ships. So they're releasing the Vulture, which will be able to use its lasers to strip the surface of a hull. We've got the Reclaimer's turrets, which will also be able to do the same. And then you've got a multi-tool with attachment you'll be able to do it with. Now, you can also, the hull stripped or the hull that's been blown off by weapon fire, you can fill in those holes by using a hand tool, that multi-tool, and that same salvage attachment, I believe. But the materials that you've salvaged, you'll be able to use to spray back on to fill holes. Though salvage is a bit more complex than that with hull stripping as well. So when you're doing it by hand, you basically get it on a canister in your multi-tool. Bam, you've got a canister you can sell, you can use for repair. Yeah? So if you're doing it with the Vulture, you go to a ship, you basically turn on salvage mode. It's similar to mining. You can strip the hull of that ship, and we'll talk about what we can actually do that to in a minute. It's a sort of strips that hull. You have to move the beams over the surface, and it would literally just be the coating on the hull effectively. So then you'll see the skeleton underneath, basically, as part of all the damage models. And then eventually you'll want to go to the back of your ship and basically process that salvage that you've stripped, and it will put it in a cargo container, which you can then put in your cargo bay. Now, on the Reclaimer, it's a bit larger scale, and you'll basically be pumping out cargo boxes full of salvage like compressed salvage, which will then want some other people in your cargo hold to be dealing with, and sort of taking them out of the dispensary and putting it on in the cargo hold properly in the cargo grid. So, and because there's like you want a pilot, you want 2 turret laser boys for the salvages, and then you'll want at least 1 person, probably 2 people in the back of the reclaimer moving the crates around. So that's hull stripping. That's what we're getting in 3.18. Yeah, there's more. There's more salvage after that. Thank you very much. Anonymous has gifted to anonymous gifter. What? So there's more types of salvage. There's going to be more MAW salvage. Hum yum yum. So taking larger pieces of salvage or broken up pieces of salvage, and then crushing them down. So like the grinder at the front of the reclaimer, it will grind up salvage, and it will crush it into cubes, and then those cubes are valuable resources. You sort of like blow parts off ships or whatever. There's also going to be the ability to remove components entirely. Oh, I want this weapon. Cut it off. Cool. Got that. Take it back to my ship using a tractor beam, whatever. And then the other type of salvage is what's the slurpiness called? What's it called? So it's basically gas, liquid, and atmosphere. Gas, liquid, atmosphere. Salvage. It's sucking the liquids out of ships, or the atmosphere out of ships, and gas and stuff like that. I can't remember what that type of salvage is called. The name has randomly eluded me. That's what it is. That's the functionality of it. So will things like the Starfarer, is its gas harvesting, siphoning? Thank you so much, Jag. You beautiful boy. Is its form of gas harvesting or whatever that it may have in the future, is that going to be effectively gas salvage? Is it going to be the same thing or very similar, or is it a different thing? It's going to be interesting to see. Do you have to have a second person in the vulture to probably take the pooped out crate? So I think what you're doing is you're doing it at a smaller scale. So the idea is that you'd move from the front seat to the back seat and move the salvage over yourself. Now, that might not be ideal. Maybe it is better to do it with 2 people. We'll know once we actually get our hands on it and start playing with it, right?
Tricksy little Robinses.
It is excellent to see more professionals go into Star Citizen. I know, we need gameplay. We need gameplay area with new star systems. We need an economy. We need proper multi-crew gameplay. And we need generally more professions. And all of this coming together and will make a significantly better game and an MMO. Obviously, Star Citizen needs a huge amount. It's in alpha for a reason. But we are getting there. We are certainly getting there. Thank you very much, Jenny and Jen, for becoming a sub. That's very, very much appreciated. You star. Thank you. What else have we got here? So, not everything is going to be salvageable. So, in the first iteration, Cloud Imperium have said that debris in the verse, so bits and bobs that's sort of scattered around, and like stations and ships that are part of missions and things like that. So derelict stations, derelict ships, things that you find in missions. They're typically not going to be salvageable in the first iteration because they don't have damage maps set up. So it's going to be specific sites that you're about to salvage and ships, it seems, that you've defeated. They're going to be salvageable as well. So destroyed ships and specific sites. So really looking forward to that. Obviously, that's going to expand out to a lot more in the future. Right, will CIG spawn Rex for salvage? The same as like mine was. I believe so. I believe that's what's going to be happening in 3.18. So it'll be ships that are actually destroyed by players or NPCs or whatever, and specific sites that sort of spawn as well. But not all sites are going to be salvageable, as I just briefly said. So really looking forward to that. Samiyeti, you are just a beautiful boy. Thank you so much for all your help, like, genuinely. And Sparrow, you're a good lad as well. This. I just completed Cult of the Lamb. I sort of got to the very end and then stopped for a few days because I was like, oh, I really enjoy this. I don't want it to sort of finish. And then jumped back in and I was at the last boss pretty much instantly. Sort of completed it. It's a good game, Cult of the Lamb. Really enjoy it. I'm going to be playing the Wandering Village over the weekend. When I'm not doing Nine Tails Lockdown, or, well, I'm going to be mainly focusing on Siege of Orison and see if me and Zing can get some quality footage. Hopefully we will be able to. I'm really looking forward to the Siege of Orison, actually. I was going to play it last night, but I had my D&D on Thursdays. I'm just a big nerd. Are there any concept ships that can do salvaging as well? No, I believe it's just the Vulture and the Reclaimer. You could argue there might be drones that will be able to salvage in the future. So maybe things like the Vulcan might be able to do it to an extent. And obviously SRV and tractor beams and stuff can help with salvage. And there might be modules for the Caterpillar and other ships for salvage. And there might even be a salvage ship that Cloud Imperium are making or planning on making for CitizenCon / Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. So never say never. Hello, Joyce. I want to embarrass someone's wife. Yeah? I've heard that Joyce is a great wife. What other tiers of salvaging is missing besides crunching down ship talk? We talked about that. Will there be tractor beams in 3.18? They have not confirmed tractor beams for 3.18. So I was hoping that we'd have more tractor beams with the cargo refactor. Probably expect ship-based and large tractor beams for the next major patch after 3.18. Probably, unless they've got it for as a surprise. But they're starting to pack too much content into 3.18. How long will a shipwreck persist in the verse for us to find and salvage? So, tech-wise, with PES, Persistent Entity Streaming, it can persist forever. And not cause too much in the way of problems on a server because of the way they stream in stuff in and out with object container streaming. So, potentially forever. Will it be forever? Probably not. They'll probably go, it's got a certain amount of time after it's been mostly stripped. If this salvage site has not been returned to in 48 hours, get rid of it. Something like that. Do you know what I mean? In Star Citizens, inside Star Citizen, the box is being spit out. Do you think that's what physical cargo will look like when we get it in our hands? Some of it, yes. So that is more physicalized cargo. Commodities are going to be physicalized in some way, even if it's just like the cargo boxes in game and different sizes of cargo box. Will we be able to broadcast beacons to others saying that there is an abandoned ship ready for someone to salvage? So, in the future, almost certainly, because they'll want a more robust contract system and contact system and beacon system. In 3.18, unlikely. Unless you'd have to make a party with someone and they'd have to come to you. Or you could put out a different type of beacon. What do you think about the state of ballistics? Maybe a reload function that scales to the size of the ship. They are practically useless. Yeah, so I'd like to see ballistic reloads. Just have, another way of dealing with ballistic weapons is have them very expensive ballistics. Have them be able to be reloaded, and you can actually be able to take more magazines of ballistics. But have them take ages to reload. Or have them so that they can explode if they get shot at directly, the ammunition. Something like that in the future. I don't like the fact that the ballistic ammo is so limited. I like it being reasonably limited. I like the idea of that. You know what? Ballistics should be very powerful. Otherwise, you could just use energy weapons. cool. And I would like to see, at the very least, some ballistic weapons which go for stamina. So if you're going to go for, actually, no, we want high damage and high output, sort of ballistics, where it's very limited ammo. Okay, well, give me some options for ballistics then that are very high ammo or are very stamina driven. So that's specifically for, well, there's lots of reasons why you might want ballistic weapons, but if I'm going, well, actually, I don't want to use any more power because I've got too much lasers, but I do want a stamina-based weapon, just give me a weak ballistic weapon, yeah? Things like that. Poop gameplay on refund, nice. You monster. I do not require poop gameplay. In today's Star Citizen, that's what we talked about a minute ago, what do you think the potential max group size for an org will be? You're talking my language, Gregory Gant. Like, so in EVE, there are very much limited org sizes, and that serves a purpose because you don't want an org to just be everyone in the game. Otherwise, you have org wars where you just go, this org is bigger. This org wins. And when you have alliances, great, alliances work, but you have to make those alliances. You have to, you don't know how strong those alliances are, and they can break apart. They can be betrayals. So there's lots of stuff going on. So there does need to be a maximum org size, or at least like tax or some reason that you wouldn't want a huge org. Yeah. Can you say hi? That's right, we talked about that a minute ago. Do comments on the streams count towards your giveaways? No, they do not, because I don't grab that data and chuck it onto the giveaway. So no, the comments on live streams do not count towards the giveaway unless it's a giveaway on the live stream. See what I mean? We will take a look at the Corsair in some detail because I need to update my ship buyer's guide for it, and obviously we're getting it in game very soon. Hello, Bored. What do you think of this new gameplay and how it will differ from mining in the end? It's very similar because it's got beams and it's sort of that sort of stuff, but it is the ability to strip the hulls of materials for salvage. It's very similar to mining. Obviously, it produces different goods, and there's going to be lots of different types of mining of salvage in the future. But it's very similar to mining. It's not identical. There's going to be different components and different sort of customization and stuff you can do. And you are going to be salvaging ships and trying to get to them quick after they've been destroyed. So the nature of the battlefield and where you're getting your ship carcasses from is a big thing as well. Do you think we will see legacy shipwrecks in game like the Zeus? Yes, I do think we'll start to see that in game in some form in the future. Either they're as part of missions or just cool little things you can find. Old versions of ships, old ships. Isn't this the first instance of true multi-crew gameplay based on today's video? Or actually people using the reclaimer together? I mean, it's a form of multi-crew. There's lots of other multi-crew that does exist in game with people using the turrets. It's just, really, we want developed roles and things like mining and salvage and stuff where, yes, if you are using multiple people together, it's really useful and there is actually some sort of teamwork, but also the resource system, the damage control, power relays, engineering, all that sort of stuff all coming together means that then you have actually true multi-crew. But at the moment, we've just got sort of like little bit of multi-crew. Do you think salvage would be worth it having to split pay? The game isn't developed enough to have a proper economy yet. So at the moment, whatever they do will be a stopgap measure for how much that it actually pays. So we'll be able to craft the repaying canisters from ore we've mined. That's a really good question. I know that from Salvage, the dispensary, I believe, will allow you to refill your canisters. So in the Vulture and the Reclaimer, I believe. Can we craft it ourselves? Probably in the future, but I don't think we can do that. In 3.18. Well, I mean, we can strip the hull of a ship using the hand tool, and that will fill up a canister. That'd be the easiest way of getting it. Do you think the effects of repair seem like they're missing an effect, like just materializing instead of repairing? Well, it's supposed to be like you're spraying it on like foam at the moment. We'll have to see what it looks like when they finished off the VFX and stuff, because they're working on VFX and the selling and audio and a few other bits before it's actually ready. Note, siphoning the ship first will be very important later, so don't explode the fuel. What? And do you think the cargo refactor will destroy cargo hauling gameplay? We'll just change it. There's going to be costs and times associated with loading and unloading at some point, whether that's or not that's in 3.18 with the cargo refactor, or if it's coming a little bit later. I don't 100% know. However, eventually that will all balance out. So if there's times and costs associated, well, that'll mean the cargo is more valuable to transport. See what I mean? I'm very sorry. I've got a frog in my throat. Can we salvage and repair ground vehicles such as the ballistas and tonks? They did not say. Cloud Imperium have not stated whether or not those will be salvageable in 3.18. They haven't talked about the damage maps for them. I haven't showed that, so we'll have to wait and see. Oh my god, that wasn't supposed to be in all caps! What did you say, Zini Beanie? I can only see 2 of 2. You feel mining might become more irrelevant with salvage coming in? And I think salvage will be the new hotness, obviously, but they've both got important parts of the game. Really, we want crafting to be in game as well, and the dynamic economy, so that these goods are dynamically valued and actually have purpose. Will there be different salvage attachments for ships for different characteristics and purposes? Yes, in the future. I believe it's going to be very similar to mining in that regard. How will they deal with people claiming and salvaging ships to exploit the system? I talk about it in my video that's about to go live after this live stream. That's a really good question, because it looks like you can claim your ship, sort of get a ship, strip it, reclaim it every so often. Now, there has to be a way that Cloud Imperium deal with that, but they haven't said how. Looking at the animation with the handheld gun and how much stripping it seems to be able to do, is the Reclaimer or the Vulture overrated? No, because you're only going to be able to carry so much on yourself with the Strippy Boy, and you'll be able to do it very quickly and at a larger scale with the ships. Obviously, the repair, I believe you can only do by hand. We don't know how much money it's going to be making. But I'd expect it to be reasonable. Do you think the Orion will be able to eat other ships like it will asteroids? It's not intended to eat ships. So use tractor beams and heavy duty mine lasers. I mean, it's going to be a grindy boy as well, isn't it? Do you feel handheld stripping takes too much and should take longer? Maybe it will. Maybe it will take twice as long as they showed. I mean, it's still, they're still tweaking it. They're still doing a load of bits for it before it goes into 3.18. Do you think we can salvage our own fleet for easy money? I think that probably we'll be able to in 3.18, but that's obviously not intended, and they'll think of a solution if they haven't already. When do you think orgs will be in game, and how do you think they will function with payouts and utilising org ships for things like mining and salvaging? What's your view on how it will work? So I want a nice robust system that orgs can sort of set that stuff up for themselves. I want to be able to see at a glance who's in whose org in game. Is this guy in my org? Is he in a different org? Are we at war with that org? Great. Just have it as part of their name, sort of. I want to be able to share ships. I want to be able to organise parties and group things in orgs, share hangars, share ships, all that sort of stuff. That's super important. And they should have got that in many years ago. So hopefully they get it in sooner rather than later. What's your gut feeling about CIG walking back, descoping more or all of 3.18 components of the cargo refactor? So they haven't been talking about the cargo refactor much. However, they did say, look, the cargo refactor is still planned for 3.18 at the moment. If that changes for any reason, we'll update you in a roadmap update. However, the guys that are working on the Kyber refactor are doing some important reviews over the next couple of weeks, they've said. And obviously, that's when we sort of find out in a couple of weeks' time if there's a problem, if Kyber refactor can't be as part of 3.18. That's when they'll tell us. But it looks like it's on. It's planned for 3.18 still at the moment. When our ship's getting armor. So next year they're working on the, well, at least they should be getting in game the resource system. So the resource system sends takes fuel or whatever and power and sends it to the appropriate systems. And there's things that can break in between that and power relays and like circuits on ships and all that sort of jazz. They go, well, what's that about? Well, that connects to physical components and the physical damage system, which are all sort of part of that. And will be coming probably quite soon afterwards. But also, at the moment, with Salvage, they're working on the damage map models as well, which is part of physical damage as well. So it is all sort of being worked on in a roundabout way, and we should see a lot more of that next year. I believe we're getting different ammo types for ballistic weapons at the very least. How long will it take a wrecked ship to decompose and despawn, if not salvage? We don't know yet. Tech-wise, they could potentially have it there persisting permanently. But will they do that? Probably not. They'll probably have a level of importance to, this has not been seen for a week, delete it. What else do we have? Do you think AI will give us flame sight to purchase for salvage? Sorry, EKG, I'm a bit confused by that question. Will graphics improvement be improved in 3.18? So, graphics, updates, Gen 12 stuff. There's a lot of Gen 12 stuff, it looks like, coming with 3.18. It's looking, in my opinion, to be the Tier 0 implementation of Gen 12 renderer, which is great, which could give you some reasonable performance boosts. Do you think we could take the stripped metal and spray paste the metal in a random place to create, say, a wall or barrier? Certainly not in 3.18. Maybe in the future there will be some level of construction like that beyond base building. I want to see spray paint. Will we see salvaging NPC orgs where we can do missions and earn reputations for helping salvage? Yes, in the future. Not for 3.18. I don't believe there's salvage-based missions in 3.18. Do you think we're getting Pyro soon? At the moment, I'm thinking Pyro Q2 2022. 2023. My God. Next year. So Q2 next year is my guesstimate for Pyro at the moment. And we will know more. CitizenCon, I would expect. So server meshing. So PES is going to take priority, persistent streaming, then server meshing. And they obviously want server meshing tier 0 if possible, the first implementation of it, for 4.0 for Pyro. With professions overall, I'm very curious what they expect the standard alpha UEC, the standard alpha UEC per hour to be. That's a really good question. They don't have an economy to support that properly yet. So they probably haven't thought about it much. And they probably go, roughly, we want the payouts between all jobs to be the same. That's probably what they've said at the moment. And then the greater the risk on the particular type of job, greater the reward. And then time investment and stuff like that. So we don't know yet. They don't have a functional economy to be able to work that stuff out. Or at least a dynamic economy. Do you feel this update is a massive step towards the Star Citizen dream? For PES and 3.18, yes, there's a huge amount in 3.18. Huge amount. We're still a while off, but I think we are 5 years or less off for them getting a beta/live. What's your view on the nerf of the A2 drama? So, there's lots of people talking about the A2 and how low scale and easy it is to just blow up everyone at Jump Town. Just going, well, you can hold Jump Town with a whole org, but one A2 can just annihilate it. That's true. However, there's a load of stuff that you can do to help prevent that. Spacing your stuff out, taking vehicles from Jump Town to your ship, things like that, because the A2 typically they do suicide runs. And obviously in the future there's going to be loads of ways to be able to defend against that, or at least more, hopefully. And there were ways to deal with it now. You'd have to have like a load of eclipses and stuff ready to go. But in the future, if we have like proper anti-air defenses, if we have ways of scrambling bombs and things like that, so they can't just drop them directly above you, because that's what you're going to have to do with bases as well, aren't you? You can't just go, well, someone's base though, get a load of A2s and just drop a load of bombs on it from orbit. Nothing they can do. You're going to have ways around that. You're going to have defenses. You're going to have ways of being able to prevent that. So, whether that's E-War or scrambling or little lasers that just shoot bombs out of the air. Do you think we'll be able to spray the salvage material over ships and doors? And no, so it's only going to be for repair rather than for sealing. Maybe in the future, maybe, as I said, have more function. Do you think we should have a roadmap that shows further than what we have? Yes, but I'm always going to want more rather than less. I'm fine with them having like the roadmap like they have at the moment. So the release view, the progress tracker. But what I also want is sort of like a greater pillars of this is what we're currently working on. This is what we're going to be planning to do over the next 3 years. These are the sort of major milestones that we want to hit. Bam! We want to hit server meshing, or PES, server meshing 4.0. And then beyond that, each of the sort of major things that they want to hit. Obviously, they can change some bits around and move it around as and when. Do you know if Salvage will be at work like for hard night, or if it will be mission-based like investigations and searches? So you'll be able to hull strip, destroy ships. So if you destroy the ship, if an NPC's ship's been destroyed, you'll be able to hull strip those. And I believe there's also going to be salvage sites as well. But you're not going to be able to salvage other derelicts and things like that are sort of part of missions or set pieces. So bear that in mind. How will CIG stop players salvaging their own ships? Don't know how they're going to do it in 3.18. They might have a solution. Hopefully they will. If not, then it will be a while after that. Do you think Squadron 42 is about 2 years away? I'm hoping it's less than that. It's always 2 years away. It's always 1 year away from me. The optimistic view. What else we got? Do you think Salvage will eventually allow the addition of unofficial upgrades like armor, weapons, or capabilities? Adding a medbed from a Cutty Red to the Corsair. Well, there's going to be deeper customization. Do you think the Reclaimer's Salvage Claw will operate anytime soon? Not anytime soon. They haven't talked about it. Will we be able to salvage a ship's components if it's not damaged? So, in the future, yes, you'll be able to remove components and weapons. In 3.18, no. You think 3.18 they're going to stop crime stats from exploiting invincibility at armistice borders, killing bounty hunters? So there's a load of crime stat improvements for 3.18 that they're planning to put in, and lots more ways that you can just get low-level crime stats and pay them off without becoming a proper criminal. Do you think salvage hand tools will allow us to breach ships? Genocide. So you will be able to use, as far as I'm aware, demolition charges or hacking tools or welding tools and stuff like that to breach ships in the future, but not for 3.18 and not with the salvage attachment, as far as I'm aware. Last year's CitizenCon Road to Pro, this year's Road to 4.0. No. I think it's Journey to 4.0. I think you'll find. What's the difference? Different words. I think it's very similar there, isn't it? What else have we got? So yeah, I'm relatively excited for Salvage. Like seeing the Vulture, seeing that Salvage, seeing that it's going to be in 3.18. There's a load of other stuff coming with 3.18 as well, and we know that they want to rerun Xeno threats in the not too distant future. I'm actually pretty happy with that. I just want to say, you, Cobra TV, Yacht Club, all agree that the 890 Jump is an exploration ship as advertised. I think it has other features and function as well, but yes, it's an exploration ship. It's probably a VIP transport as well. Hi, Bored. Could you make a quick recap of what happened in Star Citizen over the last 3 months? Oh, yeah, we can do video on that. Maybe I should be doing a quarterly review. People would like a quarterly review. I'm quite happy to do something like that. It's content, isn't it? I'm pretty chill with what we make videos on Star Citizen news-wise, and often there's a limited amount of stuff to make news on in a given day, so I sort of have to go through the forums and see what devs have said. I want to still do that, but more's better. Quarterly review. Cool. Do you feel with physicalized cargo and salvage that pirating will be more of a solid gameplay loop? Yes, majorly. So once you have physical components as well and the ability to disable ships more readily, then that all comes together really well. Do you think they'll have a combat log prevention system in 3.18? At some point, there'll just be like, if you are logging out in an unsafe area, you'll sort of persist there for like 30 seconds after you log out, and or 30 seconds after you've taken damage. Do you see what I mean? You can't just combat log. They might do that with 3.18, I suppose. Yeah, they could do it with 3.18 because of persistent entity streaming. The way they track ships is also going to be looked at. We're about to hit 10 years development and 500 million funding. What rewards, if any, should be handed out to loyal backers who have been around for this time to celebrate these milestones? I don't know. They give us lots of little things. I mean, little trophies, fine. A little bit of flair. I'm sort of all good with that. I mean, the loyal backers would have been rewarded previously, if you see what I mean, already, because they're a lot earlier, and with other trophies and silly rewards and things. Always do this sort of stuff with very minor aesthetic rewards, in my opinion. T-shirts and like a suit of armor or something like that. Do you think 3.18 will autopilot features like altitude, speed, destination, hold? Bit confused by what you mean by that. Sorry, veteran of dissent. Do you think CIG will spend as much time beta testing Squadron 42? Okay, so the last 10% of finishing off a game and polishing can take the most amount of time. Just so I do think there's going to be a good amount of time for them testing it internally, testing it potentially with the Evocati, and getting it perfect. Not perfect, but pretty good. Do you agree with or like the episodic release strategy of Squadron 42? Well, yeah, because I'm happy that they're making another 2 AAA games after Squadron 42 Episode 1. So it's not that they're splitting Squadron 42 into 3 episodes. They're making 2 additional games. Do you think doing a yearly what to expect if you buy Star Citizen Day Guide, explaining how the game functions, changes, nerfs each year so people are not lost? Yeah, but I actually think you need to do that more often. Probably every quarter with just every major update. Not every major update, it's ones that significantly change the game. We'll be doing it. We'll be doing another sort of new player guide for 3.18 and a quick start guide. But we do like a yearly review and stuff like that as well. This year I'm wanting to probably do like an awards ceremony of some cool stuff in Star Citizen, favourite ships and that sort of stuff. Thank you very much for money, Baba Yaga. Oh, thank you. I appreciate. Kimachandis. Thank you very much for the donation. Oh, you star. You beautiful boy. I like money. I'm not sure if people are aware. And what else we got? Star Citizen Live is about to start, and it's about Pez. Great. That's good, because I'm about to be done and I will leave you with sort of Star Citizen Live. I've got a chili cooking as well, so I want to get into that bad boy. What is the next major gameplay loop after Salvage? That's a really good question. They're probably going to refine Salvage for a bit. It'll probably be an expansion of cargo gameplay beyond that, and various hacking gameplay loops and stuff like that look likely. But obviously they're going to be expanding out gameplay area with Pyro and all that sort of jazz as well. Do you think you would ever do a collab of some sort with Avenger 1? I'm happy to do collabs with pretty much anyone in the Star Citizen community and that wants to do something. I'm a bit erratic time-wise. Any idea if hull stripping and repairing will extend to personal armor, weapons, and hand items? That's a good question. They have not talked about that. So that level of repair for your items. Although they do have workbenches and stuff like that that are sort of planned. So maybe you will be able to repair individual armors and items, but probably not with the salvage store. I'm wondering if Star Citizen Squadron 42 will truly be playable offline. Don't know. Hope so as well, but we'll have to wait and see. Do you think 3.18 will add altitude speed, heading hold, autopilot features? They are working on a load of updates to the HUDs, and obviously there's some stuff they want to do with master modes and tweaking ship combat. I don't think it's going to be in 3.18. Does your chili give you excessive exotic gas? I don't get. I've got an iron stomach. Not to look at or to poke, but internally nothing's getting out of there. Baron von, like, how do I say your name? Schnellenstein? Baron von Schnellenstein. Towards a fishing. Thank you very much for the money. Towards a refreshing beverage for you and Zin. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. That is very much appreciated. I like money, as I have told you before. Legend, thank you. Oh, you star. Master Chef, can I get your chili recipe? Sketto, I'll start putting them. I will put them somewhere. Probably on the BoredGamer website. I could put a food section on there. Quite happily. Me and Zin are foodies. Anyone. So, would you do a collab with me? Potentially. Teeny Beanie. You roleplay at all? So I do like D&D and LARP. I haven't done roleplay properly in game terms. Me and my mate DC have played on a few Gary's Mod proper RP servers, which I'm not sure if I can talk about. There's some of them are weird. But I'd be I'd happily sort of do it. But look, I'm willing to play other games with other people in the community and with people that watch my channel and stuff when I've got time. I have a regular erratic time at the moment. But people send offers to me on Discord and stuff. I'm get me at the right time or entice me. I'm up for doing stuff. Yeah, I'll record some stuff, and if it's funny, I'll put it on up for my subs and things. Genuinely, it's all good. Board cooking, maybe in the future when I've got my new place. At the moment, I'm trying to get a new house because I want a house. I don't want to rent. I want to buy a house. I would set that up so I can probably do live streaming and cooking and things like that much more readily. How have you been? I'm doing all right. I'm tired. Got a bad back. Got a chili on the go. So I need to get to that in a minute. Do you think they would do an auto dock function? I think you'll be able to be able to do it manually and be able to auto dock in the future, and the auto dock to be quite relatively in depth. You obviously can also sort of semi-auto land at the moment. We get a cooking with Zin and Board series. Maybe we'll see what we can do. I've got cameras and stuff for it. Here is not appropriate. Bored. First time on Twitch. Love your YouTube videos. Right. Thank you for being awesome and keeping us all informed. Love you, dude. Oh, thank you very much, Captain Runface. That is very kind. Thank you, thank you. What else do we have? Did you say ion stomach? No, that would heavily be nerfed. It would never hit the mark. Oh, it's an ion joke because the ion got nerfed and I'm sad. It's a bit of an inferno down there. Those are the sort of puns you would want to make. Right. I am going to find someone else that's streaming or is about to stream the Star Citizen Live. I'm going to pass you over to the beautiful boy that is Super Mac Brothers, because he is likely to watch the Star Citizen Live, and he's a good friend. I love the boy. I actually need to contact him soon, because I haven't talked to him in a while. Not properly. So, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for the donations. I love you all. Oh, I love at least some of you a bit. Salvage coming 3.18. You got the Siege of Orison over the weekend. You got 9-star Lockdown over the weekend. You got Pirate Week. We're looking forward to a load of cool stuff for 3.18. If you've got any suggestions or feedback, you can get me on my Discord or email me at rich@boredgamer.co.uk. And I'll talk to you there. Thank you so much for joining me today. Love you loads. Toby Eye Tracker. Use code BoredGamer for stuff and things. For discounts, that's the one. NordVPN. My eyes. It protects you from death. Or, at the very least, people being able to spy on your data as like your ISP and can watch stuff on Netflix. I don't know. Thanks for watching, guys.